All right, welcome back to Overdeveloped, episode 7, I believe. Today, I have MilkApe with me, aka Daniel. I will not be referring to him as MilkApe through this. Daniel is a good buddy of mine. You might have heard him in on my streams if you stop by. But yeah, please, Daniel, introduce yourself. He has opted not to be on camera today. That's totally fine. We're chill with that. You guys are chill with that, okay?
Um, yeah, I'm Daniel. I 9 to 5 Overwatch like it's a job because I'm a bum. And yeah, that's about it really.
Jobless individual behavior.
Jobless bum.
Daniel is. Do you know how many hours you have on Stadium yet?
Let me check real
Yeah, go
quick.
ahead and check for me.
Uh,
Uh,
we got we got 30 hours in
30
Stadium.
hours in Stadium already, and that's like actively playing the game, not counting queues, right? So
Yeah.
Daniel has played a lot of Stadium already. He has been grinding, grinding, grinding. So I thought it'd be great. Not we talked about Stadium last episode about like basically like first impressions. What Tom and I were talking about what the alpha was like. Today we're not going to be talking about Stadium in general. We're going to talk about characters in Stadium. I need to close my door. Hold on, I totally forgot. Daniel, entertain.
Okay, so that guy's a bum. He doesn't know what to do. His failure for as a host, I don't
Okay,
know.
all right. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it's because my roommate's here. I don't want to make him sit through an hour and a
Yeah.
half of me yapping in like a formal way. You know
I
what I
wouldn't want to do
mean?
that to anybody.
Characters in Stadium. We are gonna talk. We're gonna do a little tier list. But really, it's a guise for us to just talk what we think is the strongest build for a lot of like each character and where we found success or where other people have found success, because Daniel plays mostly the two same DPS characters, but has played against all of them. So I think he can kind of figure out like what is really good there. So I think without further ado, as I pull this up, Daniel, just give us your current thoughts on Stadium. Like, what do you think is strong in general? You know what I mean? Maybe for different roles or everything.
Okay. So I'll start off with DPS because that's what I played the most. Soldier and like just Cass are probably the best. Two very good hit scan characters because if you don't have them and they like run Mercy Juno or something, you're basically screwed at the end of the day. Um, I prefer Soldier over Cass because I don't have to try if I play Soldier. And just take advantage of the auto aim and everything, and it is very good. Soldier specifically, I would put him in broken to be honest. If you want to go ahead and start doing the
Okay, well, hold on, Jesus! I was giving you like an
no
overview. Like, give me what
no
you think is
the
strong.
overview is literally just hit scan good, anything else bad.
Okay, all right.
Because okay, realistically, like you got your Mercy Junos. You're not gonna be able to kill anybody unless you have like an Ana on your team or something that can actually burst them down, or if you have like the greatest Genji player in existence. I've lost a few games now, just based off the fact that my hitscan DPS player that snipes it from me is unable to like do their job on that, and it's just
Mhm.
insta loss.
Yeah. Okay, well, I do have to agree with you. I think that Hitscan is really good in general because it is 5v5, right? But since you can like make the power of your poke and your weapon just so crazy, you can kind of force a lot of things from the other team, especially if you get the advantage. So like you can force the tank to like have to build tanky and not for damage, because like it's super hard to like clear DPS that are that far. Like there aren't a lot of flankers. And in my opinion, on things like characters like support, they can't do a lot of their own fragging in this mode because support is so important, right? Like actually healing, I think is a lot
Yeah.
more important. So like characters like Moira, who's already not very good at it, and Kiri, even Lucio to an extent. I think Lucio is probably the best in that regard. But like they can't go assassinate people because they're needed elsewhere. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. And actually, I think that's a perfect place. We'll just go in alphabetical order here. The only support I think who's allowed to legitimately do a lot of consistent damage and kills by herself, I think it's Ana.
I'd agree.
I think,
Yeah.
and I think it's because it's Hitscan, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, give me your opinion on Ana. Do you think where's her strength? Like if you were to put her somewhere.
So I'm gonna be honest. This might be troll by me. I'd probably put her over what people would put Juno at. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I like playing with Ana more than Juno in general. And people usually have Juno pretty high. I would put her in pretty good if you have the
I'm
right
gonna put
build.
them in the middle right now, just
Yeah.
so they can see which one we're talking about. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I think the thing about Ana that two things really good about Ana. She can do a lot of really good DPS, but building attack power also builds your healing, right?
Yeah.
So like you could do AP Ana, sure, but like you are super like you can be the killer while also being like a super good like backline healing potential. There's like one item
Oh yeah.
that one like it's specifically really good for her where you like you heal someone and then like it increases your attack speed like stacking up to a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
That is really really good for Ana because it's like offensive and defensive at the same time. uh I don't know, like Ana really I think she I don't think she's broken, but like I think
No.
Nade is also like really crucial in
Oh
Stadium.
yeah.
So like I don't know, like I'm kind of tempted to put her up there, but she I think she's like a
I think
good,
pretty good.
yeah, I would put her in pretty good for now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do think that the best builds for Ana are the ones that are just like pure weapon power.
Yeah.
I don't think Nade is on too long of a cooldown for the cooldown
You don't
reduction
need to
to
build for
matter.
it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like Nade is so strong on its own that you don't need to like put all your chips into it. Like if you just are super good consistently with the potential for a big nade, well that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think Ana is really solid. She is a really solid choice for like one of the best in the whole thing so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. The other hit scan starts with an A. What do you think about Ash? I don't really know. I feel like I don't see as many Ashes, and I haven't played her so
I
much.
I'm not very big on Ash. In normal Overwatch, I love Ash. For Stadium, I will not play her. There are way too many counters that you can't know about if you're going to get countered yet with whether it be like the 50 cleanses from Kiri or
Mm,
the Zarya bubbles that like you can't really use dynamite. You can't build for dynamite. The only time you're going to be able to actually do anything with Ash is if you build for weapon damage. And at that point, that's just kind of troll because you could just play like Cass or Soldier instead. So,
yeah, I think Ash does have things that like give her ammo back and everything like that, but I feel like her AD, like she doesn't scale her attack damage as hard as Cass does with some of his
yeah.
items, and she doesn't scale her attack speed as hard as Soldier does. And so she's in this like weird middle ground spot. Um, and unlike Soldier and Cass, who aren't really like built around their abilities, they're built around their gun more. Ash, I think, is a lot more built for dynamite.
Yeah.
So you are like kind of splitting the field. The only thing is that like I actually do think there's something to Bob, like Tiny Bob.
Oh, yeah.
But I I don't know, like I don't I have not found her to be like inspirational. Like no Ashes are really ever popping off in my stadium games.
Yeah. The only real way I have found value with Ash is like ironically enough, there's a thing where you can earn like 3% ult charge per like cleanse or whatever. If you just get mini bob, you just farm ult so quickly and you're able to win a fight pretty easily, but it's so niche and like so wishy-washy sometimes that it's just not worth it in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, and also like she gets dove pretty hard even with like I don't know, like I think yeah, Cass has got decent enough bulk, Soldier's really fast. Ash, like you can get around Coach Gun pretty easily
Yeah.
in this mode. Like it just doesn't seem, and like I don't know, her powers aren't like inspirational, you know? There's not one that like sticks out to me
Yeah.
other than kind of Mini Bob. So yeah, I think you're right. She's not like in theory like she is hit scan, she's fine, but like why pick her over Cass or Soldier or
She's
fucking
just outclassed
yeah, I think
at the
so.
end. She
I'll
has
put
way more counters.
yeah, I think
So
she's niche. Like I don't think you're necessarily trolling when you pick her, but it's a little
yeah,
questionable.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Um
I'd agree.
all right, Cass. Where
Okay.
are we on Cass right now?
Um. So I have. I think right now, for context, I have like a 70-ish% win rate on Soldier. With Cass, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little less than that. Um,
Mhm.
it's I don't know if it's just because Soldier is so much better, or what. I think Cass is pretty good. I think that's where I'm gonna probably like him. You're able to scale his weapon damage pretty high,
Yeah.
um, and get close to one-shotting someone, and he does survive a lot, but I just haven't been able to find as much success um, that I have been with Soldier. And this is me coming from only playing Cass and rank basically for the past 2 seasons. So I know the character and I know how to play him. And I think I am pretty good too, but it's just you don't get as much value. He's still annoying to play against and really
Yeah.
good,
I
but
think I
just
think I think the crux of Cass is that he is if he gets an early lead, he is an early game monster.
oh
Like
yeah.
he is incredible when in like rounds 2 and 3, especially if he's able to build an early Eye of the Spider or something like that, or the one that increases your weapon damage and critical hit damage.
Yeah.
We were playing game today. I was playing Lucio. I had like 320 health, half of it armor, and Cass one shot me. And I was sat back and I was like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like actually
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, I think Cass is really good at like getting momentum, but I think he really does start falling off harder. If you I don't know, like you can make your build like the right click build. I think his power is really high when it's like you start on regular like left click and then you transition into a fan the hammer build.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Cass doesn't do much else, you know? Once you learn that Cass is a threat up close, you stop getting close to him, right?
Yeah.
So I don't actually know if I don't think he's broken. It feels
Yeah.
like it. It definitely feels like
There's
it.
a lot more counterplay with him that I have found than with other characters.
Yeah. He's just he's not very fast, right? And if you're building that
Yeah.
AD, he's actually not going to have that bulk that you might need. So he will actually start getting like a lot more defenseless by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put him with Ana
I think
probably.
so. I think he's probably better than Ana. Well, I don't know actually. I think Ana is really solid.
Yeah. I think you
Uh
have to be a better player to get more value out of Ana,
uh-huh.
but
Do you think Ana has a higher peak?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm really big on Ana in my games. If they're good, if they're bad, I don't want them in my lobby.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly. We'll go ahead. I think that's good, right? We'll keep Ana up there. Next
yeah.
up,
Okay.
D.Va.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a build that like works? Because we did play one game where our friend Tom would like it was really early, don't get me wrong. Like the early rounds where he could explode people with the heavy missiles. I don't know how
Yeah.
he did it, to be honest with you. Because when I played this character and played a missile build, I felt like I was doing paper damage. Somehow he was able to just completely destroy them all. That is the only time I saw this character work outside of people showing off the baby D.Va build.
I do think missile build is probably the best one, but
Mm-hmm.
from what I've noticed, for context, I have probably over 100 games played. Out of all of those, I've probably played against 3 D.Vas.
Yeah,
I mean that,
People
like,
stopped picking D.Va. Like they
yeah,
understand like it's just not it's not winnable basically.
yeah.
I think yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like missile build hypothetically is able to like do the most and have kill potential, but people are building so much into bulk, especially supports, that are going to keep the other people alive. At that
Mhm.
point, it's just not even worth it unless you're like so much better than the enemy team.
Yeah, I think also the problem with D.Va is that the map pool is just really bad for her.
Oh yeah,
Like she just has to sit there and like I think in Stadium playing by yourself for the most part is really bad. Like you kind of
yeah,
have to stack a lot more than you would typically in Overwatch like proper. And D.Va comps can't stack. And she doesn't have good perks that would allow them to stack, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then like the other options like okay, well we're going to play the high grounds and the angles and these maps just don't like Ilios Ruins, you know, like even the ones with high ground she might be able to use, like damn, I still don't think are good. Like they're kind of like not very usable. Uh, it's really tough for D.Va to compete on this map pool.
Yeah. I
Is I don't know. I don't know. This character is really bad.
For context, Seth, who is our resident D.Va player that we know, has given up on the tank role entirely because they can't play D.Va and is now only playing Mercy and Stadium.
I see.
So,
Now I will admit, I think the tank role is like it's such a double-edged sword. Sometimes you feel like the single most powerful thing on the battlefield, and other
yeah.
times you feel like you have the wrath of God being thrown at you for the entirety of the match, and there's just like nothing you can do about it, no matter what. Like it's actually like an incredibly rewarding and then frustrating experience, like super back to back. So I don't blame Seth for abandoning the tank role in Stadium because you do have to deal with a lot of annoying stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's safe. It's safe to
Yeah.
say I tried to do like a weapon damage build on D.Va. It was just horrific. Like it was not I couldn't do anything. Like I actually couldn't understand. It was like weapon speed and weapon like I was firing as fast as possible with the most like consistent spread as possible with the most weapon power I could possibly cram into this character. Paper. Like actually shooting out like paper bullets. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually and I actually sorry before we move on because I want to
Yeah.
get like a good meaty discussion on some of these. I think the problem with a lot of the worst characters in the game is that when you scale one particular way, you don't scale a lot of your kit. So like with D.Va, if you scale AP, you're scaling missiles and boosters. And like boosters is kind of null and void. Like it's not really like you can do things to upgrade it, sure, but like you're scaling missiles, right? But like
Yeah.
defense matrix doesn't get any better if you scale AP. And like same thing with Ashe. Like if you scale AP, like coach gun is not really getting better. But like when you think about Ana, when you scale weapon damage, you scale the entire character almost. And I think that's like really important to understand about like why some of these characters are better or worse. Is that like their kits are designed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it feels like there should be some items, and what I'm gonna do. Spoilers if you're listening to the podcast. I think I'm gonna do like a really like a long critique of season 1 of Stadium because I think that the item list is really bad overall. I have a lot of problems with the list of items that are in the game, and I think one of the things that they should add is some way to be like you get more scaling on AP or AD or whatever with the less amount of like the other one you have or something, because it feels like some of these characters that can't like put all their chips in the one bag just cannot like function. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, because then like other characters like Ana, you'd be able to like make it even better. There's got to be something to it, but yeah, I don't know. I think there needs to be some way to help these characters who have like everything spread out. But yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents there. Okay, what do you think about Genji?
Are we including the blade bug
So
in this?
yes,
'Cause-
I
okay.
think we should. The thing about it though is that I don't think that matters for Genji in particular. I don't think that's why he's good.
I okay. I may he's good on his own, but like it's so free for any Genji player out there. Free damage, free everything that I think it, you know, I think it's broken. I'm not gonna lie.
You think the blade one is broken?
I think in general, with everything Genji has at his disposal, with a melee build or shuriken build, having it on top of everything else, I would put him in the broken tier.
I guess like maybe you know what I say let's remove the bug. Okay, let's remove the bugs from the
Okay.
power discussion.
Okay.
Genji definitely is one of those that scales with AD because you scale your primary fire. I mean, like it's a shotgun character, but then you also scale Dragon Blade with AD, which
Yeah.
is really important. I think Genji also like he's got like the melee build,
It's so good.
which is it shouldn't be good, but
It
it
is.
somehow is. Like he's got the melee build, and then like you have a lot of really good things that can help the melee build, like the one that fires the homing shurikens afterwards, because that's AD, like that scales right. So like even though most of your damage is coming from the melee, you're still building AD. So like you're still like a super character, right?
Yeah.
So I think again, like that's why Genji is good. You're building one way, but the rest of your kit is also like coming with you. And I think that's good. I don't know. I it's weird because I think Genji is a good he challenges a lot about how a lot of characters play in this game mode because he gets up in your face and he like super aggressively and is able to like assassinate you. So you kind of like can't play by yourself, but you have to check him somehow or else he's just gonna murder you. So I think he can be really annoying to deal with if you're not prepared.
Yeah. I'd say I don't used to in the past I would get pretty mad when it comes to video games. I've broken a few headsets. I'll admit it.
Okay.
Um but I it's something about playing against Genji in Stadium.
I hate fighting this
It
character.
is it is so annoying and so unfun to play against, especially if it's a really good one that like it can be hard to not get upset when you get bursted down like that.
Because it can feel like you didn't have a chance to react.
Oh yeah.
And I think that like, the reasoning being is that like your positioning should be better, and it's like, yeah, but he kind of ignores it in Stadium because he has such great power, and of course like he just gets these resets, so he just kind of ignores you, does so much damage. He's got like a lot of bulk or a lot more support than normal to be in your back line more and like grab something that he should never be able to get and then get out. That's what feels so dumb about this character to me.
Yeah. He's able to get away with way too much for, what he has available to him.
Yeah.
Just because of how Stadium treats everything.
I don't know if I don't think he's broken without the bug, right? Like I don't think he actually is broken. But at the same time, like what characters stop him? Like effectively stop him. You know what I mean? Like this back, like these supports are all pretty vulnerable to Genji. or at least one of the Genji builds. Like obviously the melee one is really good, but I actually think like you can do a lot of like the dash build. I think is fine if you're not going to be like the primary damage dealer. I think that can
Yeah.
be like a really annoying one to deal with as well.
I'd
So
good.
no, that's it. That's it.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, the only thing that I've really found effective to consistently stop Genji is having a really good Zarya on your team. If you're not playing like someone like Mei or somebody who's
It's
able to like protect themselves more.
it's the only character that forces him to buy an item that's bad for him, right?
Yeah.
You have to buy the deflect item if your Zarya is like getting, because you play together, and the second that Genji hits your backline, she just turns on him, and then that's like gonna cook him. It'll force him to like make his power scaling the like lower. And I think
Yeah.
that's what like a lot of characters and like a lot of interactions in Stadium are missing, right? Like against any other tank, Genji does not care, right? There's no like there are barely any like characters in this game that like force Genji to buy a bad item for him. Zarya is kind of like the only exception. So I'm tempted to put Genji in pretty good, but I don't know where I would put him.
I would put him okay. Without the bug, pretty good, probably in between. I kind of have him higher than Cass, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm kind of thinking the
Um,
same way.
yeah. I think that's a good spot for him without the bug. With the bug, he's broken. He's
I feel like I haven't seen people abusing the bug though. Like in my
I
personal games.
in my experiences, when I solo queue or I'm duoing with like somebody else, I've played against a lot of really good Genjis that love to um pop the deflect and spawn, do the bug glitch thing, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Come in first fight, don't deflect, instantly dash in, one shot me or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it, it it's so dumb. I hate it.
Yeah, I would
But
say like yeah, Genji is good, and I think he's also one of the characters that like in the right hands, he's also just
oh
like a
yeah.
complete menace. So, I'm pretty content with that. Next
Yeah.
up, Junker Queen. What do you think?
Um, I mean, okay. I've played against a few queens. Is it as annoying as Genji? Not really. Um, but getting basically one shot off of a 105% ability build
Yeah,
for a queen with an axe, it's just like, what did I do to deserve this, you know?
you always build ability power on this character.
Yeah, because everything scales with it. Like,
Yeah,
it's so, it's annoying.
it is annoying because it's just like I'm going for like whenever I play Queen, I do the shout build because I want to win.
Yeah.
And at the same time, and it's like what if I don't do any damage? It's like, oh, I can still hit them with my knife that does literally double damage and pulls them to me, so I can hit them with my axe that does double damage and applies
Yeah.
more extra bleeding damage. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. And then you can like her bulk is built into like obviously she has wounds, right? But like you can keep building ability lifesteal on top of that. So her bulk is just built in. Like she doesn't have to swerve off of any of the items that she wants. And like if she needs to buy more, like, oh, I need to help my team more, I'm gonna buy a different shout item that helps my team, right? There's again like there's nothing to make Queen stop making her shout or her abilities better.
Yeah.
And of course, she's got the reset on cooldown or reset on kill. She's got the shout that wounds people. I think both of her Carnage ones are really good as well. Like she has a really good set of perks on, and like a really like I think Queen also has a lot of really good situational powers as well. The Rampage one that knocks people down, like that one is like really good in case you're kind of struggling against certain characters. It's crazy. I think this character is I think she's busted.
Like broken tier busted or
That-
pretty good busted?
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you now. What do you think?
Um, Okay. I don't know about broken, just because I find her less annoying to deal with. But I'd still put her in pretty good.
I think that like
I'd
annoying is one thing, but like I think Queen actually has like the thing is also she has the power to, unlike Cass, she has the power to take the game early and ride with it.
yeah, that's true.
Like her power spikes, like she gets a power spike every round that she gets a power, basically, for a while. Maybe not in the end, but like Cass doesn't really get those power spikes like Queen does. Like,
Yeah.
especially after round 3, like you could just like end games instantly once you wound with shout. So I don't know, because also like remember that when you build ability power, you're making your shout like do more overhealth,
$1,200
which
health
helps your
queen.
team as well. I mean, I don't like the only thing is that I think Reinhardt actually has a really good matchup in the Queen.
Yeah,
Um,
that
but like that's kind of it.
I think I think we could probably put her broken, actually.
I think she is really really
I don't think
good.
she's gonna be at the top of it, but I think, you know,
A little busted, I think.
yeah.
If you're playing Queen, do not build weapon damage. You don't need it. I promise you, you don't need it. Um, Juno. Juno has been nerfed. I mean, a couple of these characters have been nerfed, but I would say out of all the characters, I feel like Juno has really fallen off for me.
Oh
What are you
yeah.
thinking?
I pre-nerf she was pretty annoying and unfun to play against just due to the missiles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that the missiles are unfun and annoying to play against, don't get me wrong, but I'm not getting like 200 health instantly gone for standing out in the open for half a second.
Yeah, right.
So I've also have realized there are so many like anti-Juno items that you can buy in the shop
Right.
that if you buy them, she's just is inconsequential at that point in the game. I'm not gonna lie, she just falls over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because like okay, there's the I think it's called Shield Buster. Um, on a character that has like an automatic weapon or even just like anything really. The 15% free weapon like attack speed melts her so easily that
Yeah.
she just doesn't exist anymore. And I think she's
And
fallen
then
off quite a
Ana
bit.
has the airborne one,
Oh yeah.
which is like really good, like so good into Juno. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, Juno, like I think Juno wants to build AP, um, but then like that's the problem, right? Like is Juno, I think if you build AP into missiles and you get a bunch of them, sure, but her weapon, which does like the bulk of her healing typically, doesn't really do that much anymore. So like
Yeah.
you kind of have to choose: do I want to split between them, which I think in Stadium is generally pretty bad, or if you just go like full like weapon power. I've never even seen that. Like I don't think that's good enough because you can't keep enough people alive typically because you have to be too
Yeah.
close to them to make your weapon like effective enough because of its spread, and it's like it falls off, right? Unlike Ana,
Yeah.
who can be like really safe if she wanted to. Like Ana can do whatever the fuck she wants. She can be in the front like flanking, but like if she's safe, she can just sit in the back, hang back there, be a damage threat as well as a healing threat. Juno cannot. She has to get close. That puts her at risk of Cass and Genji and Soldier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
don't.
think I don't know. I'd probably just have her solid
I
at
think
this
so
point for the
too.
nerf.
Like I guess like the missiles build is still pretty good. Like it is still decent. I think you have to not do it as like a bomber though. I think you just have to be like a support bot, which
Yeah.
makes her really boring because she doesn't really add a lot of utility. She's just just
There.
always there, which is
Yeah.
that is nice to an extent to help your characters who are really good. But like she's not one that's gonna be like turning the tide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm pretty solid contend with that. Kiri, I feel like I have not really seen a lot of Kiris. What about you?
I was gonna say I haven't really seen too many. But I think that's just because there's like, pre-nerf you had Juno who would basically take that role.
Uh-huh.
And then like now it's just like I've seen more. She's still not that amazing unless you're playing Ashe or someone. It's basically the oh I hate you button. I'm gonna get rid of your only fun ability,
Yeah.
which that's just that character at that point. I do think she does have a place against Ana being so good,
Mm-hmm.
but again you can't switch mid game and stadium, and you can't see who your opponents are picking first anyways. So it's like, well, I don't know.
I can't really speak to the builds with Kiri, but again, I remember how I say like I don't think there's a lot of space for your supports to go out and do the damage.
Yeah,
I don't think that AD builds on Kiri are great, even though like her healing can be increased with AD builds. I think the bulk of her value typically comes from Suzu, and you can't really AP build it very well, like at least effectively, because how else do you make a full cleanse immortality or for invulnerability that much better, right? Like
yeah,
compared like to even missiles, micro or torpedoes rather, where you're making it an X% better. You're only making the healing of Suzu do that much more. And yes, you can make Suzu do more things and everything, but unlike most of the cast, I think Kiri has limited slash poor options that make her better. I think she's actually far too supportive. Where like, oh, they get attack speed if they are affected by your papers, or I don't know, they get to move faster if they get hit by your
yeah,
Suzu. You're actually putting like way too many chips into everyone else, and you are not very helpful as it is.
yeah. I still think though, like Kiri inherently does have value just because of Suzu and everything, and TP. If you wanted
Exactly.
damage, you
Yeah.
can, and then just like go back, get out of jail free card, just like a normal Overwatch. But
Hmm.
she doesn't scale as well as the other support characters, so I think she's a solid choice, but that's about it,
Yeah, I
really.
think she's definitely under Juno.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't see why I would pick her. Right? Like I don't think it's worth it
yeah.
necessarily.
There's
Uh,
better options.
there definitely are. I don't. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Okay, Lucio, I think is really interesting because I think the perception of Lucio is that he was really bad, or that he wasn't great.
Yeah.
Initially, where are we at now? What do we think about Lucio?
I think Lucio's actually in a pretty good spot right now. I think that there are certain builds that you can do with him that makes him either incredibly fun to play or incredibly annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Um, I've had like I don't the amount of times where I've just like basically lost a fight because he pops beat and their Cass or soldier has 1500 overhealth somehow.
Yeah.
It's like there's no even like point in fighting. Just jump off the map at that point.
Yeah. So Beat scales with AP. Soundwave, his knockback scales with AP, and so does his healing.
Yeah,
So there's a lot there. Lucio actually has a lot of different builds that kind of support his team in some way. So he's got the boop into the knockback, or like boop into the wall build, which can be nice because there's also things like when you like do ability power, or you do like you use an ability, you heal your team more. So like you can be aggressive and defensive at the same time. You can go straight for beat, like you can just do like beat farming builds,
yeah,
which I think are actually really good. Just getting the first ult in the game that allows you to get super aggressive. That scales with AP. Like that is also really good. He is one of the hardest characters to kill in this game mode. because of the speed and like since you can build the bulk as well. I have really come around to Lucio. I think he actually has a lot of really good stuff. That is, it's like it is supportive, but it doesn't like stop Lucio from doing what he's supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
I
think I'd put him in pretty good.
I think he's somewhere up here. I think he's better than Cass.
Yeah.
Is he better than Genji? I think he's really consistent, which is kind of like I don't know. Like I think when you have a Lucio on your team, you are gonna get like you're always gonna get value out of him no matter what. So like I don't know, maybe
I'd still probably put him under Genji, to be honest.
All right. I'll let you have it. You're the guest. the guest of honor. I'll let you. I'll give it to you. Okay. Next one I think is a bit of like a weird one. What do you think about Mei?
I don't like Mei. I don't like playing against her.
I think Mei is like the single most annoying character in this mode.
Yeah. They've tried to change the ice roll ability or whatever.
It still feels awful.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna fix it to make it actually do what it's supposed to, or make it have fun counterplay or anything. But
there's no counterplay against this character.
Yeah,
you cannot stun her. You cannot hinder her out of her ice because she can block. It's not a movement ability technically, even if she can roll with it, right? You can't break her out of the snowball. There's no way to do that. Like, this character is so unfun. If you get abducted, you are dead. Like, there is nothing that you can do about it. I actually think that Mei is pretty good. I think the snowball build is just annoying. Like, I don't know how good it actually is. I think it's just annoying. Yeah. I think that her wall, like, focusing on ice wall is, like, really good.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird because I think Mei is the best supportive DPS in the game because she can build 2 ice walls, which I think is really, really good. She can put like slowing defects, like debuffs on her walls, which will allow you to like catch up to people. The problem with Mei, and the only thing that I honestly don't want to call her broken, is because she does not build money.
Yeah.
If you are playing like that, she does not build any kind of money. And that's like the only thing that's keeping Mei from being like an absolute like giga demon, I think.
I've played a few games of Mei. I've won every single one that, but I would be behind like tens of thousands of dollars behind either somebody else on my team or like the other DPS players on the enemy team.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't matter because I have the ice roll. I get my value from that. I'm good. I've done my job.
Mei's value is like super unquantifiable because of even if you are doing the snowball build, because of that, or like ice wall. You know what I mean? Like that is so much more like you lead other people to winning the game. So I don't know. Just because of that, I kind of want to put her like here, where fucking like here. Like, I think she would be broken if she could build more money. I think it's a problem. Yeah. Mind you, Mei is annoying, but I think it's a problem that there's a character that inherently is like really, really like struggles to build money. Like, I don't think there should be builds that like starve you. You know what I mean? I think at least like every build you go for should be giving you some sort of cash. I also think that support surviving gives them too much money overall. I think they get a little too much, but like sometimes then there are games where your support's like hit nothing. So I don't know how they fix that. Like, I don't know how they give Mei more money to survive and then nerf her other ways, but this character is really, really annoying. Just unbearable.
Not fun to play against. Not really fun to play. It's just like, well, what can you do?
Yeah, she is an interesting one to get into the launch roster, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But okay. I don't know where I go. I'm kind of back and forth on Mercy. What are you feeling right now?
I'm very high on Mercy.
Yeah.
I think that honestly, there's some games where I'm like, why don't we have a Mercy? Why do we have this, or this instead? It would be so much better. It's just like she gets so much value just by existing and clicking like three buttons max around that I think she's really good.
The
And this isn't coming from someone who really loves their mercy
yeah.
pockets.
Yeah, it actually she with characters that like, like the Casses or like the characters that do a lot of damage, being able to boost them over their like into higher breaking points
Yeah.
is one that's crazy. It gives her ult faster, which isn't like that good. I mean, it's Valk, but like the fact that this character can so consistently get incredibly safe reses, build for super bulk,
Yeah.
never die, it makes it almost like a lot of these characters struggle to kill Mercy and claim the bounty. Um,
Yeah.
like, because even like hit scan characters like Ashe, I think Ashe can struggle once she starts getting outscaled late game.
Yeah.
Um, like Cass can definitely do it, but like Genji struggles. If you're a Lucio, like good luck, man. If you're a support, really good luck. May's not going to be able to do it. Most of the tanks aren't going to be able to do it. Like it's actually super hard to kill this character. That is so much passive value that the Mercy gets over time. That they always just push into more survivability to keep it, right? It is absolutely crazy because and again, her blue beam can't get better. So like they just,
It can technically, but
well, yeah, but it can't get like, it can't get more potent. So like they don't have to build for weapon damage or whatever. They can just be like a surviving like res bot basically.
yeah.
The res range one, oh my god.
Between the res range and the overhealth, like honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. There's some times where I feel like it's incentivized to go in and like die first, so then that way your mercy's able to get a res, and
Yeah,
then someone else ints their brains out for you. They don't have a mercy, then you win the fight. Like
yeah.
it, she gets so much value just off of scenarios like that, and just staying alive and existing. That she's really good right now.
I yeah, I am not I'm not a fan of having to fight this character. It is just not fun at all. It exacerbates a lot of the characters that are bad, or are good, or like unfun to fight against, uh, because of blue beam and like super pocket, and yeah, her res is like the strongest cooldown in this game mode, like
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's no contest. I think it she actually is just so good.
Yeah.
Anything else to say? Like,
If any Mercy pocket players want to pocket me, I'll give you my battle tag, and
okay,
we can run up the queue. You know,
bro is
like
trying to hit, what's the highest rank?
legends. I'm like 58% All Star 2 right now,
What
so I'm
is
hoping I
there
can
one
get All Star
after
1
All Star
tonight.
before Legend?
Nope,
No.
nope.
Okay,
I'm almost there.
you're almost, and you'll never use that Juno skin.
N- I've equipped it. I'm not gonna play it,
Okay,
but I've
okay,
equipped it.
okay. All right, moving forward here. Probably the
Orisa,
exact, no,
Moira,
the
Moira, Moira,
exact
Moira.
opposite of the spectrum. Moira. No one plays this character,
Yeah.
from what I've,
I don't.
from my experience at least.
I've had more Orisa players, or not Orisa, Moira players. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
chill.
more. I just love horse. Moira, I've seen like probably 10 times maybe at the most between all of my games, and that's just like either on my team or against me. They're just there. They exist. They always pick the three ball ability, and then does nothing for the entire game. Like,
Yeah, it's just like ability power. Like she's much like Moira in the main game. She just doesn't have like a good niche. She doesn't have a lot of like super value that she can provide. Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the balls are. I think there's one that like make the balls like bigger or like the tendril range bigger, and then like you can kind of slow them eventually or something like that.
Yeah.
So like I think later on she could actually be like really she can be like low key annoying, but not like powerful. That's kind of like the big difference I think is that I just don't find her to be like she can't turn anything. She can't be the carry. You know, if your Moira has the most money, you're probably cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'd agree with that.
I just I don't think she's got any. She doesn't have enough sauce to hang. And it's kind of weird because you would think like with Stadium they'd be able to add a bunch of like actual utility to some of these characters, but I feel like they just kind of still didn't with Moira like overall.
Yeah, they went too hard into like trying to build orbs with a lot of these powers
Yeah,
that it like, oh man, let me go throw 3 balls across the map and then them not do anything because like all of these maps are so open for the most part. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and it's like I thought they were trying to like make the performance better, and yet they made Moira like super like particle effects all over the place. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But yeah, I honestly like again I haven't played much Moira. You barely seen her. There's not much to talk about. She's pretty bad.
yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say
I think
that.
she is just like a healer, so like I guess I would give her a little edge over D.Va because I think D.Va is just really struggling. But I I think Moira is kind of worthless.
Yeah.
All right, this is a really strange one. Orisa. I do not know how I feel about Orisa.
I have not seen a lot of them, but I've noticed there's always like 2 camps of Orisa players that I've played against, where they either go for like the most survivability within like an immortal build, and a lot of the times, I'm gonna be honest, it's very hard to kill them. Um, or they just, I don't know, let me do a spear build or something or javelin spin, like that'll be
Mm-hmm.
fun. I don't know. It's not. Um, if you're not really building into like super hard survival with Orisa, I feel like you're kind of trolling. Minus the like the spin deflectability, I think that one's really cool and fun and awesome. But I don't know. I mean, she's all right. There's better tanks, but she's not the
I
worst.
the more that I've played her, the more that I think she just kind of doesn't do anything. You
Yeah,
know?
she's just there.
Yeah, she is just kind of there. I've tried to do spear builds. I try to do tank builds. You just kind of feel whatever. Like either you're not doing what tanks are supposed to do in this mode. You're not like
Yeah.
setting the tempo. You are playing supportive. You are playing like defensive, or you're like if you're doing the spear type stuff, you're just trying to be you're kind of trying to provide a bunch of utility, not necessarily like super kill threat, because Orisa is very like she can't stay in very long. You know what I mean? Like she can't
Yeah.
when she pushes, she can't stay in very long. Unlike a queen or in this mode like a Ryan or a Czar or something like that. So I kind of don't want to put her in solid. I kind of don't think she's like a solid choice compared to the rest of the tanks in this mode. I think she is just a little not great.
Yeah, I want her to be better. I love Orisa. You can hate me all you want. I
Hey,
love Orisa as a character,
I'm not
but
gonna hate you on Orisa. I mean, we all know Fortify is a problem, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on Orisa. But yeah, I
I
I
I'd
don't.
put her above Ash, I'm not gonna
Yeah, I
lie.
think so. I just because yeah, she's still like a
You get
tank.
value
Like
from surviving,
yeah,
and like,
you do. But
you know.
at what point is it no like it doesn't really matter because you're not doing
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, um, yeah, I think so. Reaper,
Oh,
what do you think?
I have some thoughts about Reaper. Um, we we have experienced some games where we have ability power Reaper players in my game. And this is with the bug, okay?
Right,
This is with
right,
the bug.
right.
It is so troll.
It's really
It's
bad.
you maybe get some value out of it, but then you just die. I don't know.
It's
I
really
don't
bad.
do that. It's yeah. Like some people just fall for it, fall for the little bait like a worm on a hook. And you're the little fish. But
Yo, this
if you're
fit
gonna play
this
Reaper,
worm is particularly spiky today.
um, I think besides that, Weapon Power Reaper, very unfun to play against. I hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a if he's
Wet
able to get money early and scale,
weapon power
he
like
works
attacks
close.
like the attack speed if you're close enough to people. It's like that's
Yeah.
what Reaper does. Like it's not even like like it's not even like a condition to be like within that like meter range because he's just always that close. Like that's his whole character. So yeah, weapon power Reaper is really tough. I think the thing about Reaper that's really funny is that his ult becomes worthless. Like
Yeah.
his ult is like actually troll to activate once you get into the later rounds because unless you're actually building for it, which you shouldn't be, um,
Yeah.
it's like at that point you shouldn't use it. Like honestly, maybe you should take the item that gives you stats when you have your ult. Um,
Yeah.
but I honestly think that that item is kind of bad because it's too generalist. Generalist, it spreads out among too many like stats to be worthwhile. Um, so yeah, I think Reaper. I think Reaper is good. Like, I think he puts a lot of pressure on a lot of things. And I honestly like. I think like Reaper, along with like Cass and all the hit scans, is kind of why Ori can't be very good.
Yeah.
Because he eats her in particular alive because she's not fast enough and she's too big. Like because Queen doesn't have mitigation, but Queen is really fast and can kind of blow him up better as well to force him out. Where I don't think Ori has that. And then of
Yeah.
course like Ryan and Czar and even D.Va can eat a lot of the damage and still be fine. So like I think Reaper is good. Like he can put a lot of pressure on tanks, but I think a lot of them can build to basically ignore him by the end of the game.
Yeah. Um, he's
He's
at
better
playing
than I think
squishies.
he's better than Kiri, I would
I
say.
think he's better than
What do
Juno,
you
to
think
be
about squishies
honest.
though? What do you think?
I think playing as a squishy against him, okay, this is I don't want to admit to this because this is like kind of really sad that this happened to me. He has the perk with the teleport that's silent.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few times where silent teleport, he walks behind me or something. I'm instantly one tapped, no questions asked, like literally one shot and that's
Is
it.
that not an awareness diff though?
I mean, at the end of the day, when you can't hear it, it's like
Yeah, I
how
guess.
aware can you be?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's a little more gimmicky because it happens once and then you just know. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because that's a whole power that he has to give up, right? I'm pretty sure that's a
yeah.
power. That would be a
But
better item.
you're still able to like if he's building the weapon damage, you're still able to like 2 or 3 shot squishies. Like just like protect your support, stay with them, like play anti-dive basically of if you're playing against a Genji. He falls over and dies.
Hmm.
Like it's really he has his place. I do think that solid choice is probably the best for him because he's just not as good as Cass, but
Yeah.
I've had some unfun moments playing against him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's good. I think he's fine. There's you're not gonna go wrong if you have a Reaper, I don't think.
Yeah,
Inherently. So
unless you do the
unless you do AP
ability
build. Yeah, I'm
power.
saying inherently having a Reaper is not bad, but like if you build it wrong,
Yeah,
then yeah.
yeah.
Reinhardt. I
I love
I
Reinhardt.
consistently have gotten like higher and higher on what I think about Ryan. I think he
Yeah,
is a lot better than I think people were like initially thinking. Like I think they thought he was strong enough. But the more that the builds are being expanded, I think this character just like does so much damage.
yeah,
Like is so much pressure and then like I don't know, he's like so survivable on top of it, right?
yeah.
What do you think
Uh,
when you play against Ryan? How does it feel?
I've had so I've had a few different experiences with Reinhardt. Ironically enough, I don't think the build is very good, but it's very fun to play with. If you just have some guy that decides to go support Reinhardt for whatever reason, it is so much fun because you get so much value just by standing next to him and existing
Hmm.
that you basically just win the game if you're able to like hit your shots.
Reinhardt
Oh,
has a really versatile like build structure. He
yeah,
can be supportive, he can be super tanky, he can be like a juggernaut. You know what I mean? Like he can do like super
yeah,
damage. He can deal with like a super niche stuff. Like he can build the flying, like he can deal with flyers. He can deal, like it's actually kind of crazy depending on like how you build him. Um, and honestly, just for that reason, like his super versatility, I think he actually is like pretty like since everything is blind. I think just picking
yeah,
Reinhardt is probably going to be like the most like success you'll find because I think there is a
yeah,
good enough build to make him work regardless of like what comp you're going into.
yeah. I don't think that he's gonna be like the best if you're like comparing him to another tank that's hyper specializing like whatever, like whether it be Queen with like the ability power
Mm-hmm.
or like Zarya with helping out your teammates with the team bubbles. But his value that he gets just by existing and swinging his hammer and getting an earth shatter every fight for some reason, because I don't know how it works, it just happens every fight.
He just
Um
yeah, that's crazy. I actually hate fighting this character, especially on tank in stadium, because you can't get past him. He will build shatter. If you're on queen, sorry buddy. You're on the ground. There's nothing you can do. You're getting cooked. You're on your
yeah.
keister.
He's sneaky good.
He is really sneaky good. I think he's like somewhere up here.
Yeah. I'd put him like at the top of pretty good or like just below Junker Queen and
I
broken.
I actually do. I am kind of considering putting him in broken as well. Uh,
I'm pretty big on Reinhardt though, so
I think you're right, honestly. The more that I play, the more that this character continues to be like a super nuisance.
yeah.
But okay, it's fine. Actually, you know what? Before we do soldier,
No.
before we get there,
Okay.
Zarya. Tell me about Zarya. A lot of people think she might be the best tank in the game. Do you agree with that?
Um, I think that she is probably up there with Ryan and Junker Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if you play against a good Zarya that knows what they're doing, that stays on top of their bubbles, and then for whatever reason decides to go into weapon power, you lose. You
Yeah.
just lose.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you can do. You can't out heal the damage. You can't burst down their like there's the enemy team squishies because of the bubbles. Like you lose.
Zara has a very
Like
like definitive like structure. Like
yeah.
she builds the better like the bigger bubble, and then from there she just like kind of does what she feels like.
Yeah.
Like it's like you start at the same place every time, and then you're just like, well, if you feel like your Genji's diving in a lot, sure you can try to bubble him more and like play for allied. But at the end of the day, you're getting to weapon power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the
Yeah.
day, you are going to be the killer. And I think the problem with Zarya is that it's so easy to give her charge on accident and
Yeah.
give her more charge than she should. Like, because when her ability power is higher, she gets more charge from bubbles um, because they have more health, right? And when they're bigger, it's easier to accidentally shoot them. So then Zar typically is just like full charge most of the time. And if she builds the perk that lets her overheal it, which or like overcharge it because her bubbles are so big and give her so much extra charge, she very often will be at like 150 to like 120. And
Yeah.
it's just on top of what she can build already. So like it's actually just insane what this character is capable of. Once the rounds keep going, I don't think she is great early on like a Queen or even a Reinhardt.
Yeah.
But once the rounds go through, it's like absolute demon character.
Yeah. out of all of the games like I've gotten rolled in, the one common character was Zarya.
Yeah. Where do you
Like,
think? Where do you think in terms of our three tanks here? Where are you
low
thinking?
low key, I think she's better than Queen. I can't lie.
I the thing about Queen is that I feel like you can just snowball better.
Yeah.
I think Czar does need a power spike later, a little later. I would be an advocate for keeping Queen higher, but
Okay. We
I
can roll with that.
okay. I think I do think that like Queen gets the momentum and keeps it while Zarya gets a rolling start, but then like goes further because potentially I think Zarya is like has a higher cap, but I think Queen can end games faster.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like taper off. You know what I mean? So she still consistently gets better. Zarya I think just like exponentially hits it instead of like more linearly.
Yeah.
But okay, it's finally time. Daniel, please open the floor. Tell me all about Soldier 76 in Stadium.
I love Soldier 76 so much. He makes me so happy. He's the greatest character in this game mode, and I will not let anybody else tell me otherwise. Um, you only play one build and one build only because anything else is troll. But that one build is so good that it does not matter. With the attack speed and attack damage with the visor perk, the nerf visor perk actually.
Yeah.
You still get so much value and just free damage against a Mercy or Juno or Lucio if you're good at aiming without the visor perk. It's just like he's just busted. You're able to melt someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it. This character, he it is actually crazy. You got if you let this guy live, which is really easy for him to live since he's so fast. You give him a mercy, he's all over the place. Like there's nothing you can do sometimes. It can feel like
Yeah.
no one can contest him, especially early game. No one can even attempt to get close to him. Like if you try to go like duel him or be like, oh look, Soldier's up there by himself. I'm gonna go on Lucio and I'm gonna go like boop him away. Nope, you're dead. Sorry.
Yeah.
You get visored to death. You get gone down the street. Like it's actually crazy. He gets so good. Like he is so good early, and he builds really well too. That it like sometimes you can just get completely rolled over by this character, even after the visor thing got nerfed.
Yeah. Low key, I'm not gonna lie. The visor perk is like good for like consistent damage, but a lot of the times, like if you're just able to like aim, you don't even really need to pick it up. You need to pick something else to help you survive or something. Like,
I mean, like yeah, but guaranteeing damage like that is pretty important, I would say.
yeah,
Especially when once you start building higher attack speed, and it gets a little harder to hit because its recoil is
yeah,
popping. That just having that visor is, I think, important. But
yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But
so,
you know okay, I'll let you have it.
what's the question though? Well, the question actually is, where is he? Where do we put him?
The top, tippy
The
top,
tippy top. You think he's better than Mercy?
tippy. I think he is because he is the one character that is minus cast that is effectively able to consistently kill a Mercy.
That is
And
true.
I think there are a lot of items in the shop that are like generalized that he just is able to take so much free advantage for. Like the here, let me pull it up actually. Weapon Jammer is very, very good on him. The Shield Buster is also very, very, very good on him.
Yeah.
There's so many things like that, and with 3-tap Tommy Gun or the one that also has the increased weapon power after using Helix or something, you're gonna be popping Helix anyways, get your free damage. Like everything just builds into him so well if you focus on like his gun
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people can't out duel him or compete with him, minus a Genji jumping on you with the blade bug.
Yeah,
Yippee.
yeah. Okay, I
So,
now that we're seeing it all in full, is there anything we want to change? Is there anything that looks a little out of place?
um,
My one thing is that maybe Reinhardt goes down to the top of pretty good.
I see. I
Maybe.
don't know.
Because we are saying broken, and it is weird to have 5 characters out of 17 be quote unquote broken.
But inherently, I think that's a good thing, though, no? Because at the end of the day, like, Stadium is all about getting your characters to feel broken, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, like,
But
if
in
everybody's broken,
relative to each other. I mean, like, listen, I'm down to rock it if we need to. Like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I do think Reinhardt is that strong. Like, I would not have an
yeah,
objection to him being there, even if he was alone. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I like him there, but if you want to move him down, you go
I think we're
ahead.
good. I think I'll leave it. I think you swayed me. Um, but yeah, I think that's the actually one last good look for our audience for our viewers at home. I was right here. Look up. Oh God, this way. There you go. Uh, get your hate comments ready. I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's good for the tier list. Um, Now we've already been filming for about an hour and 10. So
Okay.
um, I guess typically I would ask you. I think as I pull this next section up, just give me like a quick rundown of like your experience with Overwatch, your relationship with it, how you got into it, all of that. I'm not going to give you the full spiel, but
Okay.
I do wanna hear from you since I've got you here.
Like how I started playing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Tell me
okay,
all about
okay.
it. Yeah.
So, this is gonna be a little funny. I was originally gonna buy Battleborn when that game was gonna come out.
Yo.
I did not know what Overwatch was. I was so dead set on Battleborn. I was like, I'm
Right,
gonna get
right, right.
this. Told my brother, we're gonna play Battleborn. It's gonna be awesome. He's like, no, you should buy Overwatch instead. I'm like in middle school. I have no money. I'm like, okay, I guess. Um, and I played Overwatch on Xbox/console for a good chunk of time.
Uh huh.
Only quick play because I was terrified of calming in voice chat because I was a squeaker and I felt bad. And I didn't want to have to get flamed for it in comp. So yeah, it's been a love-hate relationship with Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like you've gone on like highs and lows where like you'll play for a very long time, very intently, and then
Yeah.
like go months without even like wanting to touch it.
Yeah, I've like when I came to UGA, I did not play Overwatch. I needed friends. I was like, I'll give it another whirl.
Mm-hmm.
And I started playing it again. I really liked it. And then like last semester, I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. This sucks. The game's in a really bad spot. And then season 15 was like really good, and I've started 9 to 5ing it again like a bum. So
Yeah.
it's
Welcome.
really it's really something.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. No. I mean, I remember I coached you when you got here on the first team, and you were I think at that point you were the classic example, and I told this to your face, that you were all aim no brain.
Oh yeah.
It was very much like, wow, your mechanics are really good. You can tell you come from other shooters. You have no idea how to play this one though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was very apparent to me that I was like, okay, you definitely like don't have the Overwatch brain. You have shooter in your blood, but you don't have Overwatch in your brain. And like that was like the
Yeah.
thing we needed to like work on, right?
Yeah.
And I think yeah, you have definitely improved substantially since
A little
then.
bit.
A
A little
little
bit.
over like 2 years ago, I think at this point.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's great. And you're better than all of us. I mean, you're peak, right? What's your peak?
I peaked GM,
Well,
but that was like
sorry,
fraudulent. I was like,
peak after season 9.
I think after season 9, it was like Masters 3 or
Okay.
Masters 2
Yeah, I thought it was
somewhere.
2. I could have sworn you said 2 at one point, but
It's up there though.
yeah.
I think I could definitely, if I actually grinded comp and not stadium at this point, I could probably make a run for GM,
Yeah,
but
until like Widow keeps getting banned.
yeah, oh well.
And if we play together, there's no mercy for you. She's going away. She's putting her down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is good to hear. Daniel, we are
Yes.
at the final segment.
Oh
This is
boy.
my favorite segment, as everybody knows. Please take a look.
What,
Daniel,
what is
I'm
this?
gonna need your top 5 favorite, or it doesn't have to be favorite. Just give me top 5 games from Steam that are on Steam that you would consider some of your favorites. Because I need to check how woke you are, Daniel.
Okay, okay. Um, I did not know you did this. I'm not gonna
Yes,
lie.
this is the final segment, so I'm gonna need 5 games that are on Steam. Um,
Um,
and hope we there's a couple of them on this list.
okay. I guess we'll go ahead and start with one of my biggest vices, Black Desert Online.
Black Desert, holy. Black Desert is only slightly woke, Daniel. That's pretty good. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
okay,
Contains
okay,
subtly pro LGBTQ plus messaging, homosexual romance options.
okay.
That okay. What is Black Desert? Am I crazy? Is Black Desert a Korean developer or
Yeah, it
it is?
is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know
It
much about Black
is.
Desert. Is it? It's an
It is.
MMO.
It's the ultimate MMO grind fest where you're clocking in like 25 hours a day if you're able to like figure out how to make that one work for like a 1% power spike. It's like it's super grindy, it's super fun and awesome and cool.
That's the perfect video game for you, but
Yeah.
that sounds really awful for me. I'm not
It
gonna lie.
it is awful.
Yeah. Okay. So you're slightly woke. You're doing better than most people on the first one. A lot of people are like, "Oh,
Give
my favorite game is the wokest thing on the planet," and I gotta go. Unfortunately, you can't hang. What else you got? What else you got?
Give me Planet Coaster 2.
Planet Coaster 2. Planet Coaster 2 is woke, Daniel! Planet Coaster 2 is woke! It contains overtly pro LGBTQ plus messaging, uses body shape 1 and 2 in place of biological sex during avatar customization. We see this all the time with these games. They really hate the idea that you don't outright pick the gender, like you don't assign them a gender. You just give them body shapes. And they're typically like one that has boobs and one that doesn't. You know what I mean? Basically,
Yeah.
they hate this idea that apparently role playing is dead. Like you're not allowed to just know inherently that you're a man or a woman. It has to be assigned to you by some creator who's making Planet Coaster 2 parks. It doesn't make any sense.
Uh,
But yeah, wow, I was not expecting Planet Coaster 2 to be
I'm not gonna.
so
I wasn't either.
yeah. All right. Well, you're gonna have to come defend yourself. Come on, I'm gonna need another here.
Give me Rocket League.
Rocket League. I think this is not gonna go well for you, if I have to guess. Oh,
It's
is it
not
not
on
here?
there. It's
Oh,
not
let me
on
type in
there.
League. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Oh my god, it's so not woke. It's not even on the list.
I'm sure it would have contained like some LGBTQ plus type stuff. It probably has like some gay pride flags in it. So you dodged a bullet there, Daniel.
Oh man.
What's next?
Oh
What else you
man.
got?
I'm gonna go. Give me Inscription.
Inscription, an incredible pick.
Thank you.
And it contains no woke content. Wow, we've done it, everyone. We have done it. Real talk though, I love Inscription. Like,
It's such a
so
good
much.
game.
I love it
I
so
love
much.
it.
It's crazy. It's a super good deck builder, but then it has just like the craziest twists on the planet. You never know where it's going. It commits so hard, and there's a lot of stuff that you think like might be cringe, but for whatever reason, it's just so genuine and like you get hooked on it. You know what I mean? Not to like I don't want to spoil it because you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's God. I love this game so much.
It's like a top game for me. I can't even
Absolutely
lie.
goated. All right, Daniel.
Um. Okay, let me go down into the depths.
Into the depths. You know,
Into the
you gave me one
depths.
that didn't work, so if you only want to give me one more, that's okay.
Um, I'm trying to think of like what would be a good one. Um, Planet Coaster 1. Yeah,
I
sure.
don't even think
Can
Planet
you
Coaster 1 showed up when we typed it in.
can you see if Obama Maze is on there?
Obama Maze. Hello?
Yeah, that's in my library. It's
Nope.
not. Okay, never mind.
Okay. There's only 1,600
Forget I
games.
said
There's only
anything.
1,600 games on this list, so like keep it like notable. Even a lot of
Give me.
notable ones aren't there.
Okay. Uh, is Nier on there?
Near what?
The first one, Automata.
That's not the first one.
Is it not the first one?
No, it's not.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah. Contains no woke content. Wow, Daniel, you might have had one of the best scores from avoiding the woke meter. That's actually crazy. I don't know if I've ever had two people who've had two completely non-woke games on their list.
I'm just a true mug-blooded American.
Oh my god, yeah. No, so Nier, I'm trying to remember. I think there's a game that's just called Nier. But then there's the remake of it that's called Nier Replicant. I think. I don't know. I've never played
I
any of
don't
them.
know.
But yes, Nier is not the first one. Nier is a sequel.
Oh, see, I never knew that. Fake fan. I don't know.
Now you know. Now you know.
Yeah.
Is it on here? No, it's not on here. So, yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. That was great. Do you have any closing remarks before we head out here?
I would tell you my thoughts on Widow, but I feel like you would never talk to me again, so it's probably best we leave it at that.
We can save your thoughts on Widow for a different day, okay? All right. Yeah. When I'm in a better headspace, I think.
Yeah, you'll need it. You'll need it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you, Daniel. I ask everyone this just in case. Do you want to shout yourself out if you want people to follow you? Do you even have any social media? I don't even know if I. You don't have to shout yourself out. I'm just saying if you cared.
I mean, like low key, my father, as you know, wants me to start streaming, so I could plug my Twitch if I ever do that.
That's true. Do you even have a Twitch that you would stream on?
It's MilkApe OW.
OW. Wow.
Yeah, no spaces or anything. So.
All right. Well, I guess when are you doing it? Maybe
I guess by Sunday if I
by
want a free
Sunday.
mouse pad.
Make sure you subscribe or follow MilkApe OW on Twitch for the first inaugural MilkApe stream. Yeah, for real. Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate it. I know we've been trying to get you on for a while and just get you at find a good time for something that you would be the most knowledgeable about. And I think this was probably the best one we could come up with. So
yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was episode 7 again. Okay. Yeah. Bye everyone. Thank you. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.